So movies.
Talking about them.
So movies.
Oh, we are? Okay, great.
Yeah, what about movies?
So what movie are we starting with?
We're starting with a movie. Which one?
There is a movie that we will start with, but what movie?
Well, I was watching Split earlier.
And what do you think?
It's a good movie. From what I've watched of it, it's really good.
What did you like about it?
James McAvoy is a freaking legend.
He is incredible.
He is a
he's
a master.
Probably his best performance is that movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably.
It's a bit hard to act as 23 different people.
Yeah.
That keep switching back and forth.
So just give me your thoughts on what you've seen so far about what you think about the overall film.
Directing's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Acting's awesome. Story itself is amazing. The movie's terrifying at times and hilarious at other times.
Mm-hmm.
I think it actually does pretty good and well. Just the movie's supposed to be absolute madness.
Yeah.
And I think it pulls that off very well.
Well, I remember last week I said to you that basically M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable trilogy, each of the three movies feel like their own movie. And you can definitely tell that was Split, in my opinion. It's like it don't feel like it needs Unbreakable to tie it. Like, you don't have to have Unbreakable to make it as a good movie.
Yeah.
It can just stand alone. It's like its own film.
Well, you spend most of the movie thinking it's not tied.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't figure it out till the end.
Yeah. And Bruce Willis is like, Mr. Glass. Which is kind of, again, you know what? M. Night also has like really dumb parts in his endings. Like, you have that lady just sitting at a diner. She's like, ain't that weird? It's like that one guy. They called him a couple years ago. And Bruce was like,
what was
his name? Mr. Glass.
I do agree. Yeah, I see where you're coming from there.
It's so corny.
I mean, I would have been absolutely okay with it being its own movie and not in that trilogy, but it's good either way.
Yeah.
I appreciate the movie for what it is, as in absolute madness. It sort of reminds me of a comic book that I used to read.
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
JTHM.
It reminds you of JTHM, really?
Yeah, it reminds me of the scene of like those two people that are stuck in his basement and they're just trying to escape the entire time. Except this is an entire movie made out of it. And he even sacrificed. He's even got the plan to sacrifice two of them to a monster.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's that's exactly what it reminds me of.
Well, one thing I think the biggest example for me of how good James McAvoy's performance is in that movie is in the therapist scene. Mm-hmm. One of the therapist scenes where she's asking, "I want to speak." What's the?
I want to speak to.
What's his name?
I think Dennis.
Dennis.
Yeah, because he's pretending to be Patricia, I think.
No, he's pretending to be the actual guy.
Oh yeah, Kevin.
He's pretending to be Kevin, and I want to speak to Dennis, and the body language just changes, and you can kind of just like tell that, oh my god, he actually became a different person there with like just how his body language is and just his facial expressions and everything.
Well, see, the way I read that scene was that he was Dennis trying to pretend to be Kevin.
Yes, and that's what it was.
Yeah, I thought that was incredible.
Yes.
Yeah. You got that, and at the end of the movie, whenever he's flipping out on her like and been in the bars, his acting's really good because he takes on like 4 different personalities at once there, and you can even tell in his facial, like just his facial expression.
His
like,
eyes are so freaky there.
Well, if you look, you can even see the raised eyebrow that Dennis always gives.
Yeah.
And you can like see sort of like the smirk, and it's just like, oh wow, this is all of them at once. This is really cool.
So
I enjoyed it.
I do want to ask y'all, where do you all so far rank this compared to Unbreakable?
Split's better.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it's a better movie. I will say I had more fun with it.
It's a funner movie.
It's a fun movie.
I agree with that.
That's all that matters to me.
But Unbreakable is definitely a more quality movie. Definitely, like it's got better directing. There's a better story to it. It's got a better character arc to it. I will say that all that is there, but Unbreakable is just Split is more entertaining.
It is more entertaining.
It's a really good thriller.
I would say Split's very fun to watch a couple of times, whereas Unbreakable you can watch it many times and pick up on new things within the film. And that's the fun in Unbreakable is like it's just this masterpiece that you can like analyze for years. Where Split you watch it one time and you're like, I got everything in this movie. It's fun.
Yeah,
it is very fun. I will agree. I remember the first time we saw it at theaters, I remember the first time I watched it, I didn't really love the twist until like the big twist came, because the way the first twist sets up is he's actually a beast. I was like, that's kind of stupid. And then it reveals that it was actually a tie-in with Unbreakable. I was like, alrighty then.
Well, see, I thought the twist was going to be, the reason why he's targeting them is because, like he sees them as impure because they've not been damaged.
Well, yeah.
And when the main girl
they haven't suffered enough.
Yeah, and when she has, it goes, you've been purified.
Yeah.
Rejoice, that whole thing. I thought that was the twist. Like, that was supposed to be the twist.
Yeah.
But you are right. Yeah, like, I mean, because... but I was enjoying the whole movie.
I was too.
I didn't need the unbreakable twist to enjoy the whole movie. I liked the beast part, to be honest.
I like it in retrospect. I didn't like it when I first saw it.
I liked it when I first saw it.
Just because I didn't feel like it made sense within the rest of the story that he was telling until he tied it in with Unbreakable.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Because it literally comes out of left field. Because the whole movie, it's almost portrayed as like this just crazy guy who's like, the beast is coming, and you're like, okay, this guy's just nuts, and everything's presented in such a realistic fashion to where you're like,
okay,
yeah,
I hear you.
But just for me, it didn't work until it did work. But eventually, I did come to the same conclusion that I did love it. So what would y'all give this movie score wise?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
I give it a 9. I really enjoy Split.
I feel like I'm not going to like Glass that much.
I'm very intrigued by it. Glass is the weirdest one out of all of them.
I love Glass.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
it's Shyamalan going nuts. It's like, I am an artist. No one will tell me what to do. It's almost like the way I would compare Glass is to like it's a better version of The Village, where Shyamalan was told he could do whatever, and either you love it or you don't. Because a lot of people did hate Glass, and I can understand why. But
right.
Glass is actually my second favorite out of the trilogy. Split being my least favorite.
It's probably my least favorite out of the trilogy, but I still love it.
Yeah. So, what film we going to discuss now?
Well, what movie did you have, Jake?
Falling Down.
Yeah.
Oh God, I didn't watch that movie.
Failure.
I'm sorry.
You fool!
So, Jake, what'd you think about Falling Down?
Falling Down's amazing!
Falling Down is probably the best movie Joe Schumacher has ever made.
Oh, definitely.
Without a doubt.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I've watched it twice.
I don't blame you.
I'm like, yeah, this movie's a masterpiece. It's like that old adage from the Joker. One bad day is all it takes to become the bad guy. Mm-hmm. And it's heartbreaking. Because the entire...
I never really viewed Falling Down as heartbreaking. It's almost like satire. Like, it's almost like a comedy. It's a dark comedy, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, but it's sad to me in the way that, like, the entire time, the dude's just having, like, the worst day ever.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, the things that he does get hilarious and stupid.
How bad is this day? Like, I mean, like, what?
Well, okay, so he loses his multi-million-dollar, or he's like this big-time like rocket scientist for the United States government. Mm-hmm. He gets fired by them because they say that he's not making enough money.
Yep.
And then his wife divorces him and leaves him for this big plastic surgeon. And like all in the same day. And then
this all happens in one day.
Yeah. And then it's his daughter's birthday on top of all of that, and he's just wanting to go to his daughter's birthday. His car breaks down. He can't get, and the entire movie is him trying to get to his daughter's birthday party. And people just keep getting in the way. Like, he's trying to get through. The most insane, stupid part of the entire movie is whenever he gets this rocket launcher. And he gets this rocket launcher from this Nazi that he kills. And... he goes and there's this big road construction crew blocking the road for him to get through to his daughter's house. And he walks up on him, he's like, what's wrong with the road? And this dude's being a complete dick to him. Yeah. Just being like, no, screw off. We don't want nothing to do with you. The road's closed. I'm tired of talking to you already. He's like, MF'er, I want to know what's wrong with this road. I think you're making shit up. And he's like, whoa, hold it, dude. He pulls out a rocket launcher on the guy, and he's like, I'll make sure that this road has something to be worked on. And he goes, and this little black kid walks up to him, and he doesn't know how to operate this straw. rocket launcher. This little black kid comes up to him and is like, "Hey, no, you got to hold it this way, and you've got to aim with that, and there's the trigger right there." He's like, "Just make sure that you make sure nobody's behind you so they don't get hurt by the back blast." He's like, "You filming a movie, sir?" He goes, "Yeah, filming a movie. It's called Bad Day." And he fires this rocket launcher and blows up like the sewer system. And goes on about his day. The entire time, this sergeant.
What he described, this is a real movie.
Yeah, this is absolutely real. I've ever been to this.
Yeah, that's why I said the movie's a comedy. I think.
It is in a way, but it's also sort of like sad because that shit could never happen. Getting a hold of her. Well, it could, but it's astronomical for a dude to get a rocket launcher.
Such an escalation.
Yeah, it's so. But there's parts of the movie where the dude's just getting hit so much by life and how terrible people are, and he's just wanting to go to his daughter's birthday party. There's a part.
So he takes everything to the max.
There's a part where he's trying to walk across this golf course, trying to just pass through to get to the next part of the city. Mm-hmm. And this guy, this old rich dude, he's like, "Hey, what are you doing on my effing golf course? I want you to get off my golf course right now." He's like, "That's what I'm doing. I'm crossing. I'm just coming through." He goes, "No, go back the way you came." And he's like, "Why do people have to be so damn rude?" And pulls out a fucking shotgun on the guy. And the dude has a heart attack and he goes, "Well, where's your meds at?" He's like, "It's in the golf cart that rolled down the hill into the lake." He goes, "Well, guess you're just shit out of luck then." And he walks off.
It's a wild movie.
You know what this is? This is the movie it's playing on that kind of primal thought process that a lot of people go through of whenever someone does something mildly rude to you.
Yes.
And you just imagine killing them.
Yeah, it's like being at work and you just have one bad thing and it's what happens if you actually did these things?
Yeah.
Because I know the guy dies at the end, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
didn't know that.
Yeah, but there's even a part in the movie where this dude's done all this crazy stuff and he ends up finally getting to this place with this big plastic surgeon and his wife and daughter there, and he had to climb over a barbed wire fence to get in, and he's cut himself up real bad. He's bleeding, and he hears the cops coming, so he tells everybody, get over here into the shed, and takes his daughter. And he sees blood all over her, and he starts flipping out "No, I didn't hurt you." And then the plastic surgeon's "No, that's your blood, dude." And it's just I know it doesn't sound sad, but my God, it sort of is whenever you're "Wow, he's not really a bad guy. He's just he's having a really."
It's not that he is a bad guy.
I would say that he is the movie almost
he turns
to
into
me
an anti-hero.
No, I would say the movie almost to me is kind of too surreal to say that he's a good or bad guy. What I mean by that is it's almost these things could not happen.
Okay.
They just couldn't. And
it's a fantasy.
Yeah, I'm not saying the movie presents it as a fantasy. I'm just saying that the movie is basically what would happen if you reacted on them negative instincts that you had during work, and it plays out all these crazy scenarios.
Right. Yeah, because this the reasons why he just has this mental breakdown and starts all this. It doesn't seem like enough.
But I would say that the first two things are enough. But what really sets him off, honestly, is is kind of the traffic stop, or him not being able to go to his daughter's birthday.
He also, right before that, he almost gets raped by this neo-Nazi.
Yeah.
And it's.
But again, though, that weirdly enough, that's not what gets him
Yeah, that just mildly irritates him.
Yeah,
it's the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yes, it's this small little thing. It's minor inconvenience amongst all these other big. things.
It might not be portrayed as intellectually as the Joker was.
No. Look, Falling Down is a comedy, and it's really funny. It's hilarious, but it also has a lot to say.
Yeah,
basically how humans think of. But that dark side.
You've all thought these things.
Yes.
You've all fantasized about killing people.
Yes.
Don't lie.
Whenever you're having a hard day, you're God, I just
want to run over somebody right now, or something like that.
Yeah, just something crazy. So it plays on that dark side of the mind that everybody has, I guess. But it is presented in a very.
I can kind of get behind.
Yeah, it's presented this very comedic and funny way, and
I mean, Michael Douglas is acting in it.
He's incredible.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
It's Michael Douglas.
Which he's the only reason the movie was even made.
Mm-hmm.
Like Joel Schumacher wanted to make it, and everyone was like, "No, we're not making this. This is way too
nuts."
Yeah, and Michael Douglas, who was like a A-list star at the time, was like, "No, I want to do this movie."
Yeah.
Everyone said, "Sure, you can make money."
Star power.
Yeah,
that's what got this thing made.
Yeah, I know it's a big cult movie.
Yeah,
it's a big. It's got a big. It's got like a big underground following or whatever. So
I
feel like I have to watch it. I feel like it's one of those movies I gotta see.
Whenever you do watch it, it is weird that this comes from the same guy who made Batman and Robin.
That movie's amazing.
Or if you really think about it, is Joe Schumacher really is not that great of a director, but yet he made this. So maybe he had that one movie in his head that was like,
Lost Boys was pretty good.
It's okay. Is
he another one of those directors that got outed as like a monster?
No.
Okay.
No,
of course not.
No, Joe Schumacher's just. I mean, the most evil thing he ever done was make Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That movie's amazing, though.
Okay.
Also,
which one's better, Falling Down or Batman?
You
and
know
Robin?
the answer. Batman and Robin.
Of course.
But,
you knew before you asked.
One of my favorite bands, Foo Fighters, did a parody of Falling Down
Mm-hmm.
On one of their music videos.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you after we're done here, but yeah, it's and it made me laugh. Well, the first time I watched it, I cracked up. So maybe I should see the movie. Yeah.
I think you'll really enjoy it. So, what's your rating for it, Jake?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. I'm actually going higher than you. I'm probably going to give it a 10.
Yeah, I was about to say I'll just go ahead and give it a 10.
Yeah.
Hell with it. It's a 10 to me.
I love Falling Down.
It's amazing.
I think it's a perfect movie. So, our next pick, last movie of the week was Brian. I'll let you introduce it.
It's Analyze This.
All right.
It's pretty much a mobster comedy, pretty much, starring Robert De Niro, and who plays the therapist?
Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal. I think. You sure? Is it Billy Crystal?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, and it's pretty much about this mob boss who is having some emotional issues. You know, he starts crying for no reason. He's having like these anxiety attacks and stuff like this, and so he decides that, hey, in secret, I'm going to go see a therapist, and the therapist is Billy Crystal. And it's a very enjoyable movie. I really, really find it funny. It's a movie that does not care about its plot at all. It's more interested in, like, the
situations.
It's more interested in, like, the scenarios and the two main leads interacting off each other. In those scenarios. That's pretty much what the movie is more interested in. You know, like the Freud scene, the pillow scene.
Pillow scene is my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Yeah. Heck, one of my favorite scenes is actually when you first meet Billy Crystal and he's imagining screaming at one of his therapists.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, what are your guys' thoughts on the movie?
I'll give mine.
It's funny.
It's funny, but the only problem I got with the movie is it also has a great concept.
Yeah.
I think the concept of the movie is incredible.
Yeah.
Turn a mob movie into a comedy.
Yeah.
And I think it fails in a lot of areas. I think what elevates and keeps the movie going is the therapist and Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Which I think everybody's going to say that is the best part of the movie. I'm saying nothing new here.
Yeah.
But for me, just the directing, the score, just all these things were very generic, and I didn't feel like they...
It almost looks like a TV movie.
Yeah, for me, it was fun to watch them two characters play alongside each other, but other than that, there was nothing for me that...
It's a bit of a nothing movie.
It's one of those things that could have been a masterpiece, just fell short.
Yeah, if it had the right director, and... Because it has a great concept.
Yeah, imagine Martin Scorsese filming a movie like this.
It'd be great.
Like making instead of like a typical dark, gritty...
Make a comedy
do some original Scorsese guy,
hack.
But
Analyze This is better than Goodfellas.
That's right. That's right.
Scorsese, you hack.
I do enjoy Analyze This though. Another great scene is whenever like they throw the mob boss off the hotel balcony, and just Billy Crystal's ranting because it's right in the middle of his wedding. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing I like so much about it, because Billy Crystal to me is the best. It gives the best performance in the movie.
I agree.
Robert De Niro is great, and he's probably a better actor than Billy Crystal.
But I would say Robert De Niro almost in that movie is playing Robert De Niro.
Yes, that's what he's doing.
Yeah. He's not really acting.
But
I'm here for a paycheck, he says.
But I think and I mentioned this last week when I was telling you about the movie and recommending it to you. It's like I love it whenever you have like the straight man in a movie and he just slowly loses his mind and has like all these breaking points.
Yeah,
it's always been like a funny thing to me.
like I said last week, that's the best part of Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Is the dad.
Yeah, the
or
dad.
like that 70s show
with
Red Foreman.
Red Foreman.
Yeah.
Just like the straight man with the guy with the most.
Because they've had
sense.
enough.
Yeah, it's just like those had enough moments.
They've had enough of the stupidity.
Yeah,
and they're done.
There's a lot of scenes like that with Billy Crystal. But yeah, it's not a masterpiece. It's not one that I would recommend everyone to go see.
It's just a fun movie.
It's not long. It's like what 90 minutes.
Yeah, it ain't too bad.
It's not long.
It don't overstay its welcome, which I'll give it credit for.
Yes. But I do recommend it if you're just looking for like a fun movie on a night, on like a boring night. It'll work.
Yeah. So, you got anything else to add, Jake?
No, it's just a fun movie. That's about all I have to say about it.
It's a 6 or 7.
It's fun day.
So what's everybody's rating?
I give it a 7.
6.
Yeah.
Now we have one more thing to talk about.
What's up?
Oblivion.
Oh,
Jake.
Oh yes.
What's your thoughts on Oblivion?
It's one of my favorite games of all time. Probably my favorite, honestly.
it's a good game.
It's a medieval RPG made in 2006 by Bethesda Softworks.
The greatest studio ever.
They used to be. They used to be.
Lord have
They've fallen from grace.
That's a whole other topic.
They've fallen
We have
from
no
grace.
time to get into that. But
Yeah, I'll be here for 2 hours talking about all the screw ups.
Todd Howard?
Yeah, Todd Howard is single-handedly ruining.
No,
Bethesda.
he's the GOAT.
That's true.
You don't mess with the Todd Howard.
Yeah,
we
Howard.
We don't have
God
time.
Howard.
We don't have time.
All right, get into the game.
Oblivion.
Okay, so Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion starts as you a prisoner in the Imperial City prison. Of course, there's no you never figure out why you're imprisoned. You never figure out anything about your past because you're like a blank slate for you to make your own person. You go and one day you wake up and old Valen Dreth, the fella sitting across from you in the other cell, he starts giving you some lip depending on what race you pick. He'll tell you you're a stupid little kitty cat that's addicted to cocaine if you pick Khajiit because he's immensely racist. Pretty much he has a certain dialogue for each different race, talking about hairy Nordic women and stuff. But after a few minutes of that, the emperor of all the land comes down and he's like, "Hey, I've seen you before in my dreams. What the hell are you doing here?" And he's like, "You're the chosen one, of course." So he frees you from prison while some Mythic Dawn cultists are trying to assassinate him. And he entrusts you with this amulet that's supposed to save the entire world to carry halfway across the continent, and that's how the game starts.
Okay.
It's an open world game. You get to do whatever you want, so you could never, ever save the world if you don't want to. It's pretty cool. I only have a few problems with the game, as in you can't join the bad guys. That'd be really cool if you could, but you can't do that. But it's the predecessor to Skyrim and the successor to Morrowind. People usually trash Oblivion. I don't know why.
See, I've heard differently. I've heard Oblivion is a lot of people's favorite game out of the whole.
It's my favorite. I've always heard people's favorite is either Morrowind or Skyrim.
Skyrim is my favorite.
Mainly Skyrim. Morrowind has more of a Dungeons and Dragons feel to it. Yeah.
Now, what was Bethesda's first open world game? Was it Far Cry 3 or was it Oblivion?
It was Morrowind.
What?
Huh?
I think it was Morrowind.
You said Far Cry 3.
Not Far Cry 3, Fallout 3.
Fallout 3.
Neither.
Okay, so it was...
it was Elder Scrolls 1 Arena.
Was Arena an open world game?
Yeah. No, wait. No, Daggerfall.
Oh, Daggerfall.
Okay.
Elder Scrolls 2
That was
Daggerfall.
what their first open world game was.
For DOS.
Because the only reason I bring that up is they've had the same issues with every game from their first open world to now. They've not changed. They're all glitchy messes.
Well, Daggerfall wasn't so much a glitchy mess. It was just immensely hard. I played Daggerfall a while
Not for me,
back.
then.
No. I played Daggerfall a while back, and it's a very archaic game. It's a very, very good game, but still.
I know that's your kind of thing, Jake. You love your
I do love a challenge.
Dark Souls for some godforsaken reason.
I do love me a challenge.
I think one of the reasons why Skyrim is my favorite of Oblivion is Oblivion, to me, like, Skyrim is a game I can just get lost in. To me, like I can just.
You can get lost in Oblivion.
I haven't. Skyrim is a game that I can just kind of like immerse myself. To me, Skyrim just has a lot more depth to it. Just in the fact that it's just got so much more to do. It feels like. Whereas Oblivion, to me, it just doesn't hook me as much as Skyrim does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like there's a lot better world building in Oblivion than Skyrim. Yeah, the gameplay might not. Well, I like the gameplay of Oblivion better too. Like the combat system, I think is a lot better. Leveling system is not, but that's a different story. Leveling system is sort of good in its own way, but the combat in Skyrim, I always feel like I'm using Nerf swords. It doesn't feel like
I've never played Oblivion, so I don't know.
You were supposed to play the entirety of Oblivion.
No,
that's
not what we're doing.
The entirety.
This is just
You're supposed to spend 478 hours of the past week.
Oh, okay, yeah. I have time for that.
There's only 100. Well, how many hours are there in a week?
Not that many.
Like, is it 150?
I don't know.
Not enough to do what he's suggesting.
No. But it's a good game. I would recommend anybody to play it. The dialogue system is dated and awful, and it's hilarious in how awful it is. You can look up this dude on YouTube called Bacon _. He makes nothing but 10, 15 second long Oblivion dialogue failure videos, and it is some of the funniest stuff you'll ever see in your life.
Wow. Okay.
Like there's this one he made. It cracked me up. He asks this guard about the Gray Fox, who's this big notorious thief in Cyrodiil. And he's like, he asks him about his job, I'm sorry. And he says, I'm the chief of the guard. I protect Bruma with all my might. And then he exits the dialogue and puts on the mask of the Gray Fox. And he goes, you're the Gray Fox. I'll capture you and make captain for this. It's just stupid stuff like that. It cracks me up. It doesn't make any sense, and it's not supposed to. You can actually find dialogue failures in the game, like people they've accidentally left in like dialogue of
I have heard of that.
People have taken multiple takes.
Yep.
And it's just amazing.
I have seen that where they have found dialogue that was clearly not supposed to be in the game at all.
Yeah.
And it's like just a take. It's like, Jake, will you go get me a chicken sandwich in the game for some reason? Or, Jake, will you go get me something from McDonald's?
Yeah, it's just something stupid like that. And I don't know. There's just a charm to how retarded the game is.
Yeah, I've heard it. It's a Bethesda.
It is Bethesda. The thing is, I think Oblivion is the peak of Bethesda with the retard charm. Mm-hmm. Because Skyrim doesn't have the retarded charm.
See, I never understood why people... For me, I just couldn't get into... I don't know. Bethesda games to me were always just too messy. Like, Skyrim was pretty fun. I liked Skyrim when I played it. Mm-hmm. But... For me, all their games were just glitchy messes and more frustrating than anything else.
Do you actually know the actual business model of making games at Bethesda is...
Everybody does everything?
No, it's make it playable and then put it out and have mod support for it and let the modders fix the rest.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Well, that's the thing. It makes amazing games, though, because then you go and mod it, and it's the greatest game ever. But it just takes a little bit more effort on your part, which is fine with me. I like sitting for 8 hours and modding a game.
See, for me, whenever I buy a product, I don't want it to be half finished.
Well, it's not exactly half finished, but it is. Yes, they actually did cut a few cities from Oblivion that you can download from modders that put it back in. They were planning to make it to where you could rebuild Kvatch, and after the Oblivion crisis sort of destroys it. Mm-hmm. And modders have put that back into the game. And yeah, it is half finished, but as long as the game is still really fun and there's a lot of stuff to do into it, that way after I'm like reached the point where I'm like, okay, I'm done with the game, I need something else. And then the modders are like, oh, here's 5 million mods for you to put in to do more stuff with.
I have heard this about Bethesda games, though, and I do think this is very true with all their games that I've played, is that their games have so many things going on, right?
Yeah.
But that's just it. It's as wide as an ocean, as deep as a pond. To where, like, you've got all these things to do, but none of them are, like, great. They're just fine.
You see, that's the way Skyrim is. Oblivion, this is how I feel anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the perfect way to describe Skyrim without mods. It's as wide as the ocean, deep as a puddle.
Because I would describe a game I really like, Arkham City, to where like all the side missions and stuff like that they all have like their own mini narratives, and like each side mission or each thing that you can do outside of the main story, they're all incredible.
Yeah,
see,
I've actually been telling you to play Witcher 3 for that same
Yeah.
reason.
Well, take this for example. This is another one of the reasons I think that Oblivion's better. Skyrim and Oblivion both have like a Mages Guild, a Dark Brotherhood to do, Thieves Guild, and let me think, Warriors Guild. Be the guys in white run for Skyrim, but in Oblivion, the Thieves Guild is amazing. It's got amazing narrative to it. It's a great story to go through, and it makes you feel like you're actually doing something in the world. It changes the world around you. Same for the Mages Guild and the Dark Brotherhood.
See, I know Fallout New Vegas did that really well.
Yeah, Fallout.
Fallout New Vegas is their best game.
Well, they didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they gave it to Obsidian, and
Yeah.
Obsidian got screwed out of it, which
Yep.
sucks. They had 6 months to make a game,
Yep.
and it's one of the greatest games ever made.
Yeah.
But Oblivion, and then you have Skyrim, where the Mages Guild for Skyrim sucks. There's nothing to it. The Thieves Guild is literally just go to dungeons and kill things. Don't even steal things. Just go kill things and retrieve stuff from dungeons.
So that's the way I did feel about Skyrim. Is like every side mission you did, it's copy and paste.
Yeah. And even the Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim, it's like, you get to go assassinate the Emperor and do all this stuff. But
You've done that same structured mission.
yeah, it's
1,000 times.
Exactly, and the assassinations leading up to it is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Oblivion, you get these detailed backstories, and even in the Dark Brotherhood, you get to go back to your own prison cell and kill Valen Dreth, the dude that was being immensely racist and terrible to you. So it's cool how they have it all the characters in the world structured out to be like this. Like your very first kill in the Dark Brotherhood, I think it alludes to him being like a child rapist.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that sort of thing in Skyrim. It's literally just, hey, go kill this mentally retarded man over on the side of a mountain.
Yeah, they barely give you any explanation. I do remember that being kind of...
Yeah, and I will always be like, the quests are just so much better in Oblivion. Yeah, it falls through on some other things, like, dialogue in Skyrim's a lot better, but what's the point?
Why do I go?
Well,
I
think we're about done here.
Yeah, I think so. Anybody got anything else to say?
No.
I think that's about it.
Alrighty, we'll see y'all later. Y'all
Later,
have a nice night.